Teresa's story is only one of almost 200 that have happened last year. And that really floored me when I saw that video. It moved me in a lot of ways. There were a lot of key points that resonated with me, and I'm sure each of you as well. One of them, which I hope comes through in the forum later on, one of those key points is that homeless youth look just like non-homeless youth. So is the community truly aware of what the homeless problem is in Rochester? I thought that was a very interesting point that Teresa made. I want to say thank you personally to Teresa for making that video for us as well. She's also on our panel today. We'll hear from her later on. We will begin the open forum shortly, but I do want to put the challenge out to each of you to infuse some of these key points into some of our conversation today, because I think there's a lot yet to be discussed, and I don't want to leave that hanging. So you didn't come here to listen to me talk. I want to turn our attention to our panel members up here at the front who have graciously agreed to assist with our forum today. LGR selected the panel members to give a nice cross-section of perspectives on the topic of homelessness. We have representatives here from the city level, state level, county level, federal level. So I think that'll be a good representation for us to hear today. Given the breadth and depth of experience also in this room, I don't want to overlook that by any stretch of the imagination. The format of this forum is such that we can hear from the audience members. We want to pull that experience out of you today, and we want the dialogue to go both ways. So please, at any point in time, if you have a question or comment, raise your hand, shout it out, let us know, fill it out on the note cards. So panel, I'm going to turn to you now, if you don't mind, and ask you to introduce each of yourselves, your affiliation, and then also maybe how your affiliation's charged, just so we can see how that ties into the discussion that we're having today. And maybe just take a minute or two for each of you, and then we can get into the actual forum questions, and then at which point I'll turn it over to Steve to start that part of it. Mary, would you like to start?
Sure, thank you. Yeah, I'm Mary Euland Evans, and I work for Three Rivers Community Action in Zumbrota, and my role is as the Continuum of Care Coordinator. The Continuum of Care, and I did put some materials over there, our brochure is on the table, so you can kind of see what we are. I coordinate a 20-county network of professionals that provide housing and services to people who are homeless. The Continuum of Care is a federal mandate that we have to work the process in order to access targeted federal homeless assistance dollars. But it's a lot more than that. The continuum is all about identifying homelessness and trying to find ways to fill gaps and provide necessary services and to work together with other people so we can basically maximize the resources we do have. The continuum is about outreach and assessment. It's about homeless prevention, emergency shelter, transitional housing, permanent supportive housing, permanent affordable housing, and support services. And I am very happy to be here today. I've been working with the Continuum of Care since 1996, I believe, and homeless youth have been a gaping black hole in our continuum. There are so few targeted resources and so few programs out there to help with homeless youth. I think Rochester and Mankato have done some things, but across the 20-county region, there's just not a lot at all. So I'm looking for a way that we can, identify what our priority needs are and work together to end homelessness for youth. So,
Thanks,
thank
Mary.
you.
Henry?
My name is Henry Williams. I am a freshman at RCTC, and I'm just here to give a brief statement about, kind of being homeless and stuff like that.
Thank you, Henry. Mary?
My name is Mary Gorfine. I work for Olmsted County. Can you hear me? All right. I'm not used to these. Where is the switch?
I think the switch is back here. I'm not sure. There's John.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you. My name is Mary Gorfine. I work for Olmsted County. One of the things I do is coordinate the Olmsted County Youth Commission, which has been around since about 1993. The Youth Commission has 3 primary aims. We promote leadership opportunities among young people, and we've clearly got a couple of leaders up here at the table today. We also try very hard to call attention to important youth needs and issues. Homelessness has been a need and an issue around here for a long time, so I'm very glad that it's finally getting some attention. And then we also work very hard to promote youth participation in community decision-making. So having young people here to help us talk about a need or an issue and perhaps help us to brainstorm some ways to address this problem fits perfectly with Youth Commission goals.
I'm Corrine Erickson. I'm a program manager with Olmsted County Community Services. I work in the Adult Services Unit. I have a number of hats that I wear there. One of those is working on homeless and housing coordination within the county, mostly with working with adults. But I think that there have been a number of successes there in supportive housing and other areas that we can kind of build on in terms of working with youth. Collaboration is definitely the key. I'm also a co-chair in the Continuum of Care, and I also am part of the homeless response team, and I see a number of faces here today that are part of that homeless response team. They are service providers in our community who work with adults and youth and families, and they come together every month. You may have heard of the Project Community Connect that happened recently. That was an event coordinated and run by the homeless response team. So I think that there is a lot of wealth here in this room that we can draw on. We just need to bring it together. And I'm also, another hat, the coordinator of Heading Home Olmsted. The state of Minnesota has a state plan to end homelessness called Heading Home Minnesota. And we here locally have a plan to end homelessness with trying to come up with strategies, really, of how we're going to do that. And as Mary said, I think one of the areas that has been lacking, where there has not been really that collaboration and coordination happening, has been around youth homelessness. So I think there are strategies that we can develop to educate our community. Today's going to have an impact on that. There are ways that we can reach out to people who are homeless and ways that we can work together to address homelessness.